Welcome to Lifting Girls Up with Girls Inc. of New York City. My name is Tiffany Martinez, and we are so excited to have Tia Mowry here with us.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you, thank you. And we are here with three students from Harlem, and they can go ahead and introduce themselves now.
Hi everyone, my name is Nayel. I'm 17. I love listening to music and I wish to become a forensic psychiatrist.
Ooh, nice.
Hi, my name is Tara. I'm 17 years old and I have a strong passion for helping others and advocating for social justice.
Ooh, awesome.
Hi, I'm Skylar. I'm 18 and I hope to become a real estate broker and interior designer too.
Wow, we have such a nice wide range of desires, which is so cool.
We have big dreamers in the room right here. And Tia, thank you again for coming and joining us today. I really wanted to have a conversation here about self-care and mental health, especially right now in this time that we're living through. So firstly, I would love to start off this conversation by having you speak a little bit about self-care and how important it is to you, and maybe even sharing some self-care practices that you do during this time.
Ooh, okay, yes. So, I'm happy to talk about this topic because I wish that I had someone advocating, in this space when I was your age. I feel like people tend to think that you should only start taking care of yourself, once you get older. But it starts now. It starts, especially around the age range that you guys are right now. When I look at self-care, I look at, taking care of yourself from the inside out and from the top all the way down, meaning inside, making sure that you are eating the proper foods to make you feel alive and make you feel great. And also, taking supplements. That's something that I've learned to do when I was in my mid 20s. And I would have loved to have started doing that at a younger age, because we all live crazy, hectic, busy lives. And many of times we're not eating the proper nutrients that we need to kind of get us prepared to tackle on the day. So taking supplements, especially now with the pandemic and the coronavirus and everything that's going on, making sure that you have your vitamin D, your vitamin C, anything that helps with your immunity, right? Because when you fill your cup, when you take care of you, then you can be able to help others, right? Being a woman, sometimes you guys are young now, but you may be experiencing this now, but you tend to always nurture other people. I feel like it's very instinctual for us to always care about everybody else and not really focus on ourselves. And it's kind of been labeled as selfish, to take care of yourself. And it's like, no, it is not selfish. Actually, it's the other way around. You are wanting to fill your cup so that you can help, others, so that you can be the best version of you to be able to help, others out there. In regards to self-care, I think what's also important is mental health, right? It's so important for us to focus on, how we're feeling, especially, again, with the climate that we're dealing with right now. During this pandemic, I was so focused on making sure that my kids were okay. I was so focused on making sure that my husband was okay. And I was like, you know what, Tia, you really need to just stop and take time out for yourself to work on your, mental stability. And the first thing that I did was I started to meditate. And the release that I had from doing that, you guys, I just started to cry. I was just like bawling. And at that moment, I had known that I did the right thing, because it's not good to hold all of that negative. You were talking about energy earlier, Tiffany. It's not good to hold in just the negative energy or the anxieties or the depression or just, whatever you're feeling at that moment. It's good to release it and to let it go. So, if you're suffering from anxiety, I suffer from it, is normal. You know what I mean? To be anxious or to have, moments where you're just very sad. But it's really important also to just talk to other people and let them know, how you're feeling, so that you're not dealing with whatever you're dealing with alone. So yeah, that I would say that's, my take on, self-care. Also working out, keeping your body moving. That doesn't mean that you have to do everything for like 30 minutes to an hour. You can even just, do whatever you love to do. Like say it's just walking, right? Walk around the block for like 15 minutes, do a little bit of stretching or do a little bit of yoga. And again, I've learned all of this stuff later on, and I want to inspire people to start now, because you're investing in you when you take care of you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
What really stuck out was just just do what feels good, right? Just do what feels good. Eat the food that makes you feel good, because sometimes the food that tastes good in this moment does not make you feel good in an hour. And it's like having that relationship with your body and with your own state of being to know when something is good for you and when something isn't. Meditating too, I'm really happy that you brought that up, because we actually do that in our classes where we have some time and we do some breath work. We do the inhale 5 seconds, hold, exhale 5 seconds. We'll do some stretching. I remember for one class, we got all the mats out and we all did yoga together. And we do aromatherapy. And I really tried to make sure that young people have access to just that knowledge that's not really given out in any other places. Like now with social media, it's been so incredible that more people are talking about self-care and taking care of yourself. But what I also love that you brought up is that if you can't run for 30 minutes, just go take a walk. Just go outside and go walk around the block, and especially now in quarantine when we need to move our bodies. We still need to move our bodies.
Yes. Especially I feel like with African American women in general, we tend to have very low vitamin D. And vitamin D is so important for your wellness and for your immunity. So just getting outside and, getting that sunshine, it's so important. And, it's something that you can't, exclude or forget. So, and I didn't know that until my later years. I wish someone had informed me about it earlier, but you're never too young to really start. You're never too young to really start taking care of you.
Yes, and I really like the fact that when you talked about self-care, you didn't just talk about like one specific thing, because self-care is not just one specific thing. It's just, taking care of whatever you see fit. And I thought that was really remarkable, because I think a lot of people just think, oh yeah, self-care is simply just meditation or simply just, exercising, but it's multiple forms. And I just wanted to ask, so like, I'm sure growing up, in the industry and just growing up in general, you faced some harsh words or harsh critics or whatever the case may be. So I just want to know, like, how do you embrace the negativity that gets thrown in your way and like, use those words to like help uplift yourself, as I think that's almost like a form of self-care a little bit, because you're like taking that negativity and you're helping use that to boost yourself up in a way. So yeah, how do you do that?
It's like you said, especially being in this business, it's so prevalent. It's always in your face. You know what I mean? Someone saying something negative, not just about you, but maybe about the person that you love, even your children. The one thing that has really helped me is my support system. It's very important for you to look at, I remember Will Smith said this years ago, and it really stuck with me. He said, you have to look at the 5 people around you, right? Are they uplifting you? Are they inspiring you? Are they supporting you? Are they encouraging you? Or are they doing the opposite? And the one thing that has really helped me was knowing and having such an incredible support system, like my husband, like my family. So they really, they've helped me keep my focus on positivity, right? Just focusing on all things good and not focusing on that negative energy, because whatever you give more to, that is what's going to be brighter, right? So if you're spending more time and focusing on the good and focusing on the positivity and focusing on love, that is being, or that is in your life, then that's going to shine brighter. If you give the attention to the negativity and to the darkness and, you know, to the unkind, then that's what's going to be pushed forward, right? So if I could sum up my answer, it would be, look at your support system and see what that support system is, because that is what's really important, right? Someone who is speaking into your life and not putting you down, someone who is uplifting you. That really, really helps, especially in moments like that. And then also just focusing on the positive and not necessarily giving the energy to, you know, negativity.
That was great.
Aw, thank you. I learned, hey, you know, it took a lot to learn. You know, I will never forget being on Sister and looking at comments and, you know, people just saying mean things about the way I look or the way that I talk or the way that I dress. It was just, it was hurtful. You know what I mean? And, you know, but again, I truly believe that what helped me was I don't let that define me. Don't let other people and their opinions and their views define who you are. You know who you are, and there's only one of you, right? Even being a twin, there's only one of me, right? Don't let other people define your joy, define what you want to be, and who you are as a person. It's not up to them. It's up to you.
Exactly. I feel like, of course, you know, not only is, you know, having also a great support system to uplift you and, you know, just feed positivity into your life important, but I feel like it also starts like within yourself.
Yes.
And, you know, self-love, like all about self-love. And, you know, I'm still practicing it every day. It might be hard some days not, but yeah. So I wanted to ask, what do you understand about self-love or love in general that you didn't understand before?
Wow. Well, kind of like what I was telling you before, you know, especially growing up being a twin. I've learned, and my mom, you know, she would tell us this, that there is only one of you. And that is what's so beautiful and amazing, that God made you unique to you. You are unique. So celebrate that uniqueness. There's only one of you, right? So it started out with understanding that I am unique. And God created me the way that I am. And that's what makes me, that's what I should celebrate. You know what I mean? That is something to be celebrated. I guess that's what I'm saying. What's also helped me with self-love and understanding self-love is loving all of you, loving your flaws. Everybody has flaws, right? There's always something that you're like, oh, I wish I could do, you know, you have to be honest with yourself. And, you know, as I got older, you know, I became to understand that my flaws are just as beautiful and unique and amazing. Yeah. So I think that's what's, you know, really helped me with the whole kind of self-love aspect is, you know, just loving all of you. Don't be judgmental to yourself. Be forgiving. Allow yourself to grow. We're going to make mistakes in life. You know, we're not perfect human beings, but, you know, with that imperfection comes beauty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've learned to not judge myself. I've learned to love all of me, love all of my flaws, learn to understand that I am unique. You are a blessing. What you have to give to this world is important. You are valuable. You have something to say. You are important, no matter what anybody else says. And just, allow yourself to learn about you and learn about who you are as a person and love you. Love all of you. I will say this. Someone had told me a long time ago to look in the mirror and look at yourself, just you, yourself, and you, and say, I love you. Watch what happens. Watch what happens.
That's crazy, because my aunt told me to do the same thing earlier this year, and then everything you was saying, it was hitting home, because I'm like, this was my year to learn that. I learned all of that. So I had to say, go in the mirror too and say, I love you. And then ever since then, it does change you in so many ways. My self-esteem is higher now. I do a lot of self-care. And even the time we're in now, we're in a whole pandemic. Never thought that would happen, but we're in a whole pandemic. And this was my time I learned the most self-care I could ever learn. And I do DIYs, remedies, whatever I need to do. I got a journal and I write a whole bunch of stuff and just say whatever I need to say, affirmations and all. I have it all around my room too. So now even talking about the time we're in now, have you picked up any new self-care practices or anything to keep your peace?
Let's see. I'll tell you what my new self-care practice has been. And it's been, like I was saying, how you were saying earlier, or someone how do you say your name? Nael?
Yeah.
Nael? Okay. Nael, you were saying earlier that self-care comes in many different ways, right? This was very interesting to me and new to me, that I needed space, right? So everybody's at home, all the kids are at home. There has never been a time where we all have been up on each other for so long, you know what I mean? And there's no other, usually you would kind of, an outlet would be getting some space, going to work for a minute, but that was not the case. Everybody was just at home. And a part of self-care, in my opinion, is, again, mentally and understanding, you know what? I need time to myself right now. I need time to just breathe in, breathe out, and take some time to myself. But what I want to make sure you girls understand is we are deserving of self-care, right? Sometimes we feel like you don't deserve it. And it's no, I do deserve to take care of me and to take care of myself. And it's okay that I am asking, for space. There's nothing wrong with that. And when you have that perspective of understanding that, you know what, I deserve it. I am deserving of a little me time right now to make myself just feel a little better mentally, right? Because when you don't ask for it, most of the time is because you don't feel like you deserve it. I don't, or you just go with the program, you know what I mean? Or you just go with the flow. But what is that going to do to your mental health? What is that going to do to your happiness? All of that should be put in the forefront, and all of that should be seen as a priority. Why? Because you deserve it. Oh, Cairo, my daughter just said, hi, Mom. Cairo, do you want to say hi? Come here. Do you want to say hi really quick? Do you want to say hi to these beautiful girls? Come really quick. Let's say hi. Y'all, she's in her little cherry outfit and her hair's all done. Come here. You want to say hi? Say hi to the girl.
Hi.
Hi, hermosa.
Hi.
Say hi, Cairo. You want to say hi? She's going to go take a nap right now. So, okay. Yeah, she's looking where? Huh? What's going on? She's looking behind the computer, you guys.
Where are they?
hi. Say the camera's right there. Say hi to the ladies.
Hi.
Okay, say bye-bye. Can mommy have kisses? Give me a kiss. I love you. Say bye-bye. You have to go. You have to take a nap now, boo-boo. You have to get some self-love and some self-care.
Gotta fill your cup.
You got to fill your cup, girl.
Go fill your cup.
Starts young. No, but I guess what I was saying is you have to understand that you are deserving to ask and request what you feel you need.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing. It was just, asking for space. And I didn't, I never knew that I was going to need that. But at the moment I did. And then my support system, my husband and everybody, my son, he understood. Do any of you guys have siblings or anything?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are some times you're like, can I please?
Yes.
No, honestly, even just the whole like saving 2 hours of commuting time, and I know that this is a huge privilege that I still have a job during this time, but saving those 2 hours and then being home all day, that element of like that space really saved me. I feel like this past year has been very difficult for a lot of reasons, but it's also been the most that I've been outside, like with the trees and with nature and been able to take walks. Because before I would go to work and then I would give. I'm very social, but when I get home, I need just quiet. But like I would give, and then I would get home and I would always tell myself I want to go to the gym, or I would always tell myself I want to meditate, or I want to make a delicious, yummy, nourishing meal.
Mhm.
But then I would just get tired and sometimes go for the ramen and sometimes not do my run and sometimes be in bed. And now it's like I've learned with this past year the importance of just taking that moment of solitude and silence and just giving myself love and building in those walks where I can when I couldn't take it before. And I think we're all different people now than we were last March. March is a huge month, I think, for all of us now because it's like that anniversary, right, of when this started. And it's like if we all take a moment and just reflect on who were we a year ago, it's two different people, at least for me. Like it's completely different than I was.
Yeah, I mean, you, like you said, you tend to learn what's really important, because prior to all of this, I do feel like I was kind of like, you become like a machine, you know what I mean? You're kind of just like going through life, Groundhog Day, doing the same thing, but once we had that stay home order, it just changes your perspective on a lot of things, what matters. And also I've learned about communication, like how important communication is. Like I was saying earlier, I had to communicate that, that I needed a little bit of space, or even, with my union and my marriage to Corey, whenever something would come up, we would have to take that time and that moment to tackle whatever was bothering us at hand. And at that moment, we didn't have the excuse of walking away or going to work and, just kind of letting it, go by. We had to say, we had to handle it right then and there, which was, something new that we learned, how to do, but it was so beneficial because again, it taught us how to communicate in a different way.
And that even makes me think of meditation and how when you meditate, you're forced to be with yourself.
Yes.
Right? There's no distractions. You're not on social media. You're not talking to other people. You're literally like not forced. That's the wrong word. But you create space just so you could be with you and for you to realize who you are. Just with no distractions and nothing extra around you.
Yep, that's so true.
It's all connected.
It is. It really, really is.
Thinking about growth and overcoming obstacles, I would love to know, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Oh, overcoming obstacles and growth. Everything's gonna be all right. It really is. It's amazing how when you're young, you're so worried And well, for me, you're so worried about the future. You have anxiety about, what your life's going to be like. What are you going to be doing? But I've learned to trust the process. And what I mean by that is trust the journey. If you're being honest with yourself, if you are living in your truth, everything will eventually fall into place. It's so true. And I know how hard it could be to believe that, especially if, when you're young and you just don't know where you're going. Even the hard times, you know what I mean? Like, I'll be honest with y'all, because that's what this is about. I'll keep it real. I remember when Sister was over, oh my gosh, I cried because I didn't know what the future held. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't work for years. My next show was The Game. That was 7 years later. 7 years. But see, people don't see that. You know what I mean? Or may not see the time frame. But what I mean by trust the process is I just continue to live life. I continue to be the best at whatever task I had at hand. I continue to allow to grow. You mentioned growth, like to grow as a person. Like that's what I mean by you have to take time with yourself. Don't rush anything. Trust the process. You're where you are for a reason. Mm-hmm. And when you understand that perspective, you're kinder to yourself. You allow yourself to grow. You allow yourself to learn. And, I ended up booking The Game, and then my life just started to unfold in the right ways. But I would say, just to trust the process and trust the journey and know that in the end, everything will be all right. And I'm also a true believer in God and in Him giving certain, one of my favorite books, it's called The Alchemist. And in this book, it's all about signs, in life that God gives you. And when you are open, meaning you have this healthy perspective, right? Positivity, you'll start to see these signs in life that God gives you. Mm-hmm. And you're like, okay, then I'll just go this way. And then it's amazing how you just kind of, it's like Nemo, like Finding Nemo, how Nemo just goes on this little journey, but eventually he finds his place and it's, everything ends up okay. So I would say that, I wish I would have told my younger self to not worry so much and to enjoy, I really contribute a lot of my success in life about enjoying the process. And what I mean by that is you can't just enjoy the end, which is the success, right? You have to enjoy all of it. You got to try to embrace the struggles, the obstacles, and know in your head that this is just going to make me get stronger. This is just going to make me grow. A lot of people don't know this, that I was not the original choice for The Game. I had auditioned for it and I didn't get it. There was a girl that had booked it and I cried and I cried and I cried. But then a week later, they were like, Tia, we want you to come in and audition again. We're still trying to figure things out. I was like, what? But what I'm going to tell you, what was so amazing was I was prepared to do this moment, meaning I was put under so much pressure. Could you imagine that? Being in front of people that were like, no. And then you have to try to, tell them yes again. But I remember a few months prior, I had done this television show where I had gotten off of a plane and I had to learn my lines very quickly. I had to get in front of an audience without any rehearsal, and I just had to go. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. The show was actually called Love Inc. That was the show. Busy Phillips was on the show. And Holly Robinson Peete. I had a guest spot, I didn't feel prepared at all, but I was like, T, you got to do this. I was scared out of my wits and I was like, why is this happening to me? But then a few months later, now I know why it happened to me. Because I was going to be put in that same situation where I had to just put it on, be under so much pressure. But I learned that through that challenge I learned how to breathe through that moment. And then that show I ended up getting, and it's what propelled me, to be working again in this entertainment business. So my point is, sorry to make this so long and drawn out, is understand the process and respect the process and learn from the process, because you're going through this for a reason, because it's just going to prepare you for what's ahead.
Right. And I definitely can agree with you there, because there's been so many times it's just like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to be stuck here forever. Like, I don't even know. Like, you just like, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna be doing this for the rest of my life. Like, what are my next steps? And I think that a lot of people feel the same way and they can't get out of that way. Like, how you were able to like, oh yeah, I know I have to trust the process and know that I have to get this done. But I know a lot of people are really just stuck like in that place because maybe they don't have that support system, or maybe they don't have, the resources needed to keep pushing and keep going so that they can get to where they want to be and where they need to be. So what would you say to someone in like a predicament like that, where they might not have like, family or friends or, journal or meditation? Yeah. What would you say to someone?
Well, it's exactly what Tara,
yes.
Tara. It starts with you.
Mm-hmm.
When you have that self-love, you don't really need anyone in that perspective. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
It starts when you learn how to love yourself and learn how to respect yourself and learn how to love all of you. How can you convince somebody how amazing and great you are if you don't believe it in yourself?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, you may not have that support system, right? Or you may not know where to start, but you have to have that inner voice within you to say, I deserve better. Like I was saying earlier, sometimes we don't feel like we deserve it. And that can keep us in that stuck place. But when you change your mentality and when you focus on, I deserve better, I love myself, then you will start to be your own support system. You will start to be you become a pillar full of strength. It really does start with you. It really does. It starts up here, and it starts with you believing in yourself. And the mind is so powerful. The mind is what moves us into action. So if you believe and if you say, words are very powerful. The tongue is very powerful. Speak positive affirmations. I will get out of this. I will get out of this. I am better than this. I love myself. I love myself. I can do it. I got this. Girl, I still say that today. I tell myself that I got this, 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 I got this. And then eventually your body and your behavior will follow through. Understanding and knowing that you are in control. Don't let anybody think that you don't have it or the power. You have control.
Okay, so with all of that being said, for you, what does it mean to be strong, smart, and bold?
Ooh, strong means, like I said, you are a palm tree. A palm tree can be thrown back and forth like that, right? That don't mean life is not always gonna have, life's not gonna have no storms. I'm telling you that right now, okay? You will have storms. It's just a part of life. It's a part of growth. But when you're strong, the wind can do this and I'm still here.
Yeah.
I'm still here. That's being strong. And you know what? You get addicted to being strong, meaning you get used to it. You know, it's just like with yoga.
Right.
That's why yoga is so important, because yoga, it teaches you how to breathe through these uncomfortable positions. You're like, oh God, I really want to get out of this. This hurts. This hurts. That's how I am I mean, yoga is a part of my life. But I was like, oh, this hurts. But it teaches you how to breathe through it. And before you know it, come a year after you've been practicing, you see yourself in that pose and you're like, wow, I'm strong. I'm growing. There's growth. I can get through anything. So that's what I see strong as. Smart, what does smart mean? Smart to me doesn't always mean academics, right? Smart to me is someone who can adjust, right? We're talking about storms here. So when you're hit with some sort of storm in life, you're smart when you're able to adjust and say, I'm going to go this way. Okay, I got you. No, I'm going to move this way. Life is about adjusting. You know, when you become a mother one day, you'll see that life is going to be different from it was when you were a teenager. So you have to learn how to adjust. If you don't know how to adjust, you'll get stuck in life. It's always about feeling and being comfortable with adjusting where you are. You know, being smart enough to know that you are worthy, being smart enough to know that you have value in this world, to know that you have a voice. Being smart is knowing that you deserve the best, that you're not going to settle for anything. Right?
Right.
Why would you?
Don't settle.
Don't settle. Don't settle. Bold is being, for me, is not afraid to be the best, not afraid to understand the process, not afraid to understand that, okay, like say for instance, there's this tunnel, right? Or point A, let's say there's point A and then point B.
Right.
But you know that in between point A and point B, there's going to be a challenge. There's going to be a struggle. Being bold is saying, I'm still going to get through to point B.
Yeah.
Saying, okay, I know that this is going to be hard. I know that there's going to be challenges. I know there's going to be ups and downs. I know there's going to be a lot of learning to do, a lot of growing to do. I'm going to, find out more about myself, what I need to work on, what I don't need to work on, but I don't care. I have a mission and I have a goal. I'm going to get to point B no matter what. So I am going to be bold. And I'm going to be courageous and I'm going to still take it on. I don't care what anybody says. I don't even care if there's people saying, you want to do that? I don't see you doing that. Well, again, you don't define what's right for me. I define what's right for me. Right?
That was great.
Right.
But again, guys, I am no different than you.
Yeah.
I am no different than you. I am older than you, and I've learned all of this. This was not given to me. I had to learn all of this. And so I'm happy to be here to help inspire you, to see if I can give you any words of wisdom or knowledge to help you on your journey.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tia. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, no problem.
We are so grateful that you were able to join us today.
Oh,
and
no problem.
catch us again for another episode of Lifting Girls Up with special guests that drops wisdom, dropping gems to help us become better versions of ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Continue to shine. You guys, I always say sparkle. Sparkle, baby. Sparkle.